Unscripted.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of PD and P-Dubs Unscripted, and here you can see we're joined by probably our most recurring guest, Maggie Walsh.
Hello everyone.
Good to have you back, Maggie.
Thanks for having me again.
Right, and if you're watching, you're probably noticing a little different setup here for our podcast, as Maggie helped me last week kind of rearrange some things, get a new table and different angles, so you're not just seeing our side profiles of P-Dubs or whoever is our guest or extra guest on the podcast.
Yeah, it's a little more symmetrical now, which is very important to me.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to those things. Plus, you can see our nice logo right behind us, so you can always know what you're watching if you're watching this on YouTube.
In case you forget what podcast you're watching.
Right, or listening to. So we thought maybe we could talk about some of the things coming up at Immanuel with like summer and kind of wrapping up the school year. And so I'll let Maggie start with the first thing, because it's probably the next kind of bigger thing coming up would be your dance recital with your students.
Yes, well, actually, I should say the next thing chronologically that's coming up is the musical. They're doing Seussical Junior on May 2nd. There's two shows.
Oh, I thought it was that Friday, but it's the Thursday afternoon for the one?
Yes. So Seussical is Friday the 2nd at 1 and 6:30. And then our recitals are the following week. So it's May 8th at 6:30 and May 10th at 3 o'clock. So Thursday and Saturday. So.
Okay, I guess I thought it was May 8th and May 1st and May 3rd for your dance recital.
Oh, no. I need that extra week.
Oh, okay. Shows what I know. So we got the Seussical musical, Seussical Junior, which I know Jenny Lobbs and Gwen Schilf have been working a lot with our students on that, and it's going to be a great musical and that's all ages from the school, or just?
It is 3rd through 8th grade. So 3rd through 5th graders are going to be kind of the chorus on the sides of the stage, and then the cast ranges from 3rd grade through 8th grade.
Okay. So that'll be a great time to come out and support our musical department there, and I know it's going to be an excellent evening that night.
Yeah, and both events, that and the dance trail, they're free. You don't need to buy tickets.
So even better. So what a great way to spend some time in supporting our school and different activities.
Yeah. So our dance recital the following week, we have, I think, 17 routines now. So 7 of them are group dances, and then the rest of them are solos, duets, and trios. Some of them the dancers choreograph themselves, which is really cool. So they do they do jazz dances, they do lyrical dances, all kinds of different stuff. And then they do a finale at the end where they all join together.
And how does that compare to like previous years? Is that a lot more dance numbers or about the same?
It's about the same. I think it's been growing slowly each year. I think last year we had 18. But last year there were more solos, and I think we only had 1 or 2 duets. This year we have a trio for, I think, the first time. Or no, we've had trios before, but it's been a while. We have more duets this year. So a lot of those kids who did solos last year are now doing those. So it's cool that we still have 17. It's still and they put it all together. I mean, this year we started at the beginning of February, and our show is the, first week of May, essentially. So it's amazing that they put it together in about 3 months. And, they don't practice over spring break. So it's even less. I kind of broke it down the other day, and I figured out that they essentially have, because each group learns 3 routines, they essentially learn a routine in 3 hours, excluding all the warm-up time and freeze dance at the end of class. They pretty much learn each dance in 3 hours, which is pretty amazing when you consider some of them are 6, 7 years old.
Right, because, that's pretty impressive. And like I was going to say, what is the age range from, like what grade to the highest, with the lowest grade to the highest grade?
So this year we have 1st grade through 8th grade, and it is open to kindergartners each year. This year we don't have any kindergartners who signed up, so this year it's 1st through 8th. We have 6 first graders, 3 second graders, 6 third graders, lots of 4th graders, and 3 fifth graders, 2 sixth graders, 1 seventh grader, 1 eighth grader. So
Okay. And how many are any of these new students compared to previous years?
yes, so some of them are new to the school. A lot of our several of our first graders are new this year. A lot of them are trying dance for the first time too, which is really awesome. It's cool to see them start out and they don't really know what they're getting into, and by the end of the year, they have a solo choreographed and they're ready to perform.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that one out. The creativity of figuring out dance moves, no thanks.
It's a lot of, for the younger kids, it's more about taking steps that they have learned in class and kind of just putting them together. There's not a whole lot of, artistry involved. It's more just, here's some steps. The most important thing at that age is just getting the courage to go out there and dance in front of all those people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to do that as a first grader.
Yeah, I don't think I would have either, but it's and originally when we started it, the solos, duets, and trios, I think I only had it open to like 4th through 8th graders, but there were so many younger ones who really wanted to do it, so I let them do it, and they have really taken it and run with it. So
that's awesome. So yeah, so that'll be a great evening with May 8th. You know, you got your dance recital at 6:30, and then again on Saturday, May 10th at 3 p.m.
Yep.
So yeah, so we got that, and think of other things kind of wrapping up the school year. We have the 6th graders going to wall camp that following week, May 12th through 16th. I know I plan to be there on May 15th, that Thursday, to spend the day with them out at wall camp, and it's always a great time. Do you remember your trip to wall camp?
Oh, I do. I remember walking in the river.
The night hike?
Yes, I remember that. I remember somebody coming back from the night hike and wearing a bobcat sweatshirt, and she had so many little burrs on her sweatshirt that you couldn't even see the design on it. That's what I remember from the night hike.
Those things are the worst, those burrs. But yeah, so that's coming up. That's always a great week. So we're just hoping that the kids have great weather that week out there, because when it rains, it kind of dampens things. Because I know I've been out there sometimes when it's been raining. I think wall camp has changed a lot since I've been there. It sounds like they come back and they say they've played all kinds of games and things that weren't there. It was very hardcore outdoor education when I went there. Because I feel like when I've gone there with the kids, there's like the survival, where they got to build like a thing with the sticks and what they can find out in the wooded area that they could survive in. There's, the orienteering, which I'm not very good at. Yeah. Archery. Yeah, see, we didn't do archery. I think it was there, but we didn't do it. There's the pond life. We probably did that. Where you kind of find the creatures in the pond and with the different things. Do they still walk in the river? Yes. I don't know, because I know the one year they were like, the kids were like playing in the middle of like the river, and it was like 40 degrees outside, because that was like in the springtime. And I was like, what are you guys doing? Like, that just feels cold. I mean, I know I had my winter jacket on. Yeah. So that was always one of those interesting ones of like, yeah, I don't think, guys, I'd want to be in the water like that. Do they still canoe? Yes, there is canoeing time. I don't know if they really have like the free time to swim in the swimming area, because I just don't know weather-wise like how that would really shape up. Yeah. Because it hasn't really warmed up too much yet. Because you probably went when they used to go in October? I think so. I think we went in the fall. So yeah, so they've changed it now where we go later in the year, which has its pros and cons, I think, both ways. Yeah. It has a con for, say people who are planning a dance recital and then have to do it earlier because the kids are at wall camp. But right, I'm just trying to see if I can find those pictures of the kids in the water where they were like, they were just like, oh wow, really getting into being in the water. Well, I remember being there doing the river walk and being in shorts. So it must have been significantly warmer when I was there, hopefully. Right, and who knows, like, that's the joy of Chicago weather. Like, October can be warm or it can be cold, just like May. You can have, like, today as we're recording on April 22nd, we're supposed to get up to 70 degrees today. And right now my computer says it's 56 degrees.
Mine says 57.
Oh, so either way, so yeah. So that's always a kind of a fun week there for the kids to be able to do that outdoor education. And yeah, there's a few other things that they do for learning, but I can't remember because I know they've done stuff in the one building where they're like doing stuff with the weather tracking type deal now. Yeah, and I know it's changed because like I think when I first came to Immanuel, it felt like me as being one of the leaders for a day. Like a lot of like the staff or parents would lead the like activities because I know I've led like the outdoor survival or like the pond life, and they're asking me questions like, let me look here at the answer sheet.
I don't remember that. I don't remember who led our activities.
But now it's all like the wall camp staff is leading that. So yeah, so that's the second to last week of school. Then we got field day coming up on May 21st, which is always a fun day. You know, as long as the weather, like we've had a few years where it's had been inside.
Last year
was outside.
Was it outside? I remember because there was the water gun fight. Was that in the parking lot, or am I making that up? There was a year it was in the parking lot.
I feel that was like COVID time.
Oh, okay.
When we didn't, but I feel last year we were at Oast Field.
Yeah.
So yeah, the water fight's always the big thing at the end of that, and always got to bring a change of clothes.
Yeah.
Since I tend to get pretty soaked from the water fight that we have with the kids and some of the teachers and stuff that participate.
Yeah.
And then that leads us into graduation on May 23rd and the final day of school, which is, you know, probably kids' favorite day of the school year is that last day of school.
Well, and it's earlier this year. I think it's on the 23rd, right?
Yes.
So a month from tomorrow, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. There's a month left of school. And then it gets into two of our big things that we have always in the summer. I mean, we do have Discovery Camp, which goes throughout the whole summer. But it's kind of some like specific one week hitters in a sense would be VBS, which is June 16th through 20th, which, you know, May is a huge help and kind of does a great job. Not kind of, but does a great job leading that and doing a lot with helping me out with that. You know, so we've been organizing VBS this year. That's coming up. You know, we'll do what we've done in the past from the 9 to 2 o'clock. And this year's theme is True North, Trusting Jesus in a Wild World.
Which we thought meant Canada, but apparently it means Alaska. But, you know, similar to
Similar. It's still north. Canada, Alaska, both north of us. So, yeah, we're figuring out how we're going to decorate for that and get some of that themes of like out in the park and in the wilderness. And
it's a little more tricky. I have several Christmas trees in storage that we're going to use this year for decorating. It's a trickier one to decorate for. We have the log cabin, the cardboard log cabin.
Right, and just looking at the logo for it here on our website, looks like they got the Northern Lights in the picture with the lights. I mean, disappointed I still didn't get to see them last year when all the Northern Lights were happening down this way.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how we're going to make that happen in our sanctuary, but
that I don't know. Maybe a year from now we could figure out something a little bit different, but this year, not quite ready for that yet.
We do have Bible buddies. Our 50s plus group has been wonderful in bagging hundreds of Bible buddies for us, along with their cards that show what the kids learn each day.
Now, without looking, do you know all the Bible buddies?
Okay. They're sitting on my desk. So let me think about this. One of them is a crab, a king crab.
Yep.
I think it's named Claudia.
Yep, that's day 2.
Okay, what's day 1? No, that's bugging me. Okay, I'm going to go to day 3. Day 3 is the bear.
Yep.
Bear's name is Cody.
Yep, with a K.
Cody with a K. Then it's the eagle. I think the eagle's name is Ernest.
Ernest the bald eagle.
And then the last one is the moose.
Yes.
Which is named Bruce.
Bruce the moose.
And then, oh gosh, what's the first one? Oh, it's the otter.
Yes.
And the otter's name is Ponder.
Yes. So you do know your Bible buddies for this year.
Very useful information.
Right.
It's a good thing I don't need that space in my brain for anything important.
Right. So that will go to your collection of Bible buddies.
Yep.
So that's always a great week with the kids and like busy but awesome week. It's so great. I think last year we had over 200 kids, which was like our biggest VBS. And we're doing pretty good on registration right now, I feel. I don't know. I haven't looked at the number.
I have not looked. I haven't even put it all together.
Yeah,
into a roster, but
you know, with Easter, that's kind of I know I get all the emails and I kind of just see them. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Another
Yeah.
kid. I kind of skim it real quick to see if there's anything I notice or like anybody I know. And so I'm just trying to see if I can pull it up real quick how many. But the other thing is I'm looking through our like registration forms. We do especially need volunteers for VBS.
Absolutely.
Like that is a huge thing because with 200 kids, we need a lot of workers to help us with that.
Yeah. So we have, we need people to be group leaders, group assistants, and that is kind of an easier job than you would think because you do kind of just lead the kids around to different stations. And then the station leaders will kind of take it from there in a lot of cases. So let's see. The group leaders we're looking for, typically we're looking for older kids, high school, college age kids, or adults who can help, it involves things like giving out Band-Aids and just keeping track of everybody, making sure everyone, moves from station to station, make sure everybody's behaving. Group assistants kind of help that leader in those kind of things. We also need station leaders. We need people to help lead service projects and activities for our 4th and 5th graders because they kind of have a different camp structure. So they will do things like making tie blankets. That's something we did last year, making tie blankets, and then we brought them over to Journeys. We need people to help. What else? What are the other
Did you say
stations?
music?
Music. Yeah, we need music. We need people to help with games, things like that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just trying to adjust. So looks like 152 kids
Wow.
is signed up for VBS right now.
Some of those might be duplicates. As we
Yeah, I
know
was trying to
with our
hide. I was trying to go quickly through and like hide the ones that would be duplicates. So yeah, so that's awesome to have 152 kids. Or actually, never mind. I was looking at last year's VBS for.
I was gonna say 152 sounds kind of high.
Yeah, I thought that sounded
middle
a
of
little.
April.
I thought that sounded kind of high for that as well. I was just like, that's awesome. Let's go to actually this year. Helps if I can read. So yeah, that was last year. So as of right now.
Well, so the reason it was 152 from last year is because our Discovery Camp students also attend VBS.
Well, no, that was just straight up because that's not the
Right. So that was without Discovery Camp, right?
the 152.
Yeah. So we had 152 plus all those Discovery Camp kids, which is why we ended up with over 200 last year.
Yes.
So Discovery Camp comes for the first few hours. They come till noon, and then they split and they eat lunch and move on with their activities.
Yeah, I don't know why it's. There we go. There's a little bit of static. It sounded like there for a second. So yeah, I was just trying to figure out that. But yeah, so I'm just kind of looking right now what we have for this year, trying to eliminate some of the ones that are duplicate registrations real quick. So about 50 kids, a little over 50, 55 kids, 54 kids signed up. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Still plenty of time to sign up for VBS.
Yes, definitely. And we will get many more registrations, I'm sure, in the coming months. So that's why we are definitely in need of volunteers. So if you feel led to volunteer, even just for part of the week, you don't have to do the whole week necessarily. Obviously, that's super helpful for us if you can, but if you could just do part of the week.
Right. Yeah, and even if like you can only do part of a day, like let's say you can be there every day but only there till noon, that's awesome too. We'll take whatever help we can get for whatever time you can give. And I know you were talking about some fun ideas to kind of encourage and incentivize our volunteers.
Yes, we know it's a big time commitment, so we are working on some different ways to make it an even more enjoyable experience for the volunteers. But I always volunteered for VBS growing up, and I always thought it was really fun to get to know the kids. And I attended VBS every year that I could, including when I was 3, I think. My mom was helping with VBS at our church, and I was technically too young to attend. But since she was helping, they let me go to VBS. So I've been to VBS more than the typical number of years.
So you've gone almost over 20 years now.
I was trying to figure that out, and I don't remember if I don't think we did VBS during COVID or anything. So I would think this is probably close to my 20th VBS.
Yeah,
either assisting or attending.
Yeah, because I know for VBS for us during COVID, we did that like video VBS where we had all the package of all the crafts, since I think we had a lot of it bought. Mm-hmm. And then we just made videos that were released each day with like Pastor, myself, and Jenny doing like kind of about the theme, and we brought the puppets. I remember there's a video that it's Pastor Warren and his 2 dogs, Bailey and Barkley. Jenny had her son's dog, Ari, and I had Madison. We did a video out in the courtyard with all the dogs.
Which is a really fun way to do it, given the circumstances.
Yeah, that was the best that we could do. And, I remember even, I think it was like in the next year or so after that, there was somebody that found like those videos on YouTube, and they're like, hey, we live down the street. Do you have any more of the crafts left? Aww. And I was like, yeah. And then when I was kind of emailing with them, they're like, actually, you're not the church down the street. We're in Oklahoma. Oh. And I was just like, yeah, and I can't. And I want to say
interesting.
I want to say it was maybe Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, which is a suburb of Tulsa. And so, I ended up mailing that family the crafts. So I was like, what a cool thing, reaching out to another whole state. And
yeah.
I was kind of trying to connect a little bit with them since I did my vicarage, my internship in Oklahoma. So I'm like, okay, I know kind of the general area you're talking about.
Well, and you did those little trading card kind of things.
Yeah, the trading cards with the puppets and the dog.
Yeah.
All the puppets had one, then the 4 dogs all had one, because I still have Madison, my dogs, up in my office on my bulletin board. So, yeah, that was a really fun way to kind of try to do it. And then after VBS, we get into Shining Stars, which I should say that the registration for VBS is up and running on the website.
Yes. And Shining Stars is going to be ready very, very soon.
Right, and that was our softball baseball camp that Pastor Warren started in 2015. And it's just a great week, from 9 to noon every day, free, that we get to teach kids how to play baseball and softball. And also, I get to do devotions and connect baseball to God and faith and life lessons like that.
Yeah, I stopped by Shining Stars for the first time, I think, last year, just to kind of check it out. And it just looked like so much fun. Everybody was having lots of fun, and it was such a nice way to bring the kids of the community together. And it's free, which is amazing. Right,
and they get a free shirt. We've given out baseball cards in the past. Last year, we gave out the baseball that had the school logo and the Shining Stars logo. But yeah, it is a lot of fun. Like, I miss playing baseball, so this is a little bit of a way that I get to play some baseball a little bit. And, not that I get to hit much, but I do get to kind of play catch, which, I don't know, if there's something about playing catch. It's nice and relaxing and something fun to do. So yeah, that's always a great week. We're hoping God blesses us with good weather, because when the weather isn't so convenient and in our favor, we have to cancel a little bit, because I know we've canceled years for obviously rain. Then I think it was 2 years ago we had to cancel once or twice for the bad air quality.
Oh,
when we had the air quality issue from the fires in Canada a few years ago.
I want to say it was the last 2 days were canceled or something like that.
That was a couple years ago, yeah. So, yeah, we've done different things with that. And then that usually leads in, and I'm not sure, and you probably know better than I do, the 4th of July, the hometown parade.
Yeah.
Is that June 28th or is it July 5th?
It is July 5th this year. So we will once again be marching in the parade. I'm assuming we haven't gotten this far yet with the recital coming up, but I'm assuming I will have my dancers dancing again with our Immanuel float, which isn't really a float. It's a minivan.
Right.
But we will be in need of volunteers to hand out candy and just walk with us and help promote our church and school.
And throw out whatever other swag we have besides, like the beach balls are always a big hit.
Yeah, last year we did Frisbees. We did beach balls a couple years ago. The problem with those is if you want them inflated, they're not going to fit in the vehicle. Right. The Frisbees were nice, but I don't know that I want to do Frisbees 2 years in a row.
Right. Did we do stress balls for that, or is that something else when we gave out the stress ball?
I think that might have been something else, but that's an option for this year. You never know.
Right. So we got that, and then I'm excited because we have our National Youth Gathering coming up. It's July 19th through 23rd, but our flight to New Orleans is July 18th, and we'll fly back on July 24th. It's awesome. We have 15 kids going to the National Youth Gathering this summer, which is great because last time we had 8 kids going to the NYG. So awesome that we nearly doubled that. And it's always a great week where the kids get to learn and grow in faith. And like, I think it's one of those huge things where the kids get to see, hey, that they're not alone when there's 20,000, 25,000 other high school kids from around the country that are there sharing about their faith.
What kind of things? I know last time I think I saw some pictures of them doing service projects.
So yeah,
what kind of things do they do?
Yeah, so kind of simple. So we'll start with the service project. So that is something you get assigned, and I signed us up to try to do an offsite service event. We did not get selected for that this year, so I'm a little disappointed on that. I get it. There's a lot of churches signing up for this. So we're on a wait list. That could change because I know in 2010, the first National Youth Gathering went on with my church in Oklahoma. I know like our service project there was going to the lower 9th Ward, which was one of the hardest hit areas of New Orleans. And we were cutting down tall grass that hadn't been cut since Katrina hit in 2005. So this grass was like 5 years growing, so almost as tall as me. You know, a little worried when they said, oh, we're going to give the kids machetes. We're like, okay, this kid, you do not get a machete. And so that was cool. I know in Minneapolis, I think we did something with like homeless. In Houston, last one in 2022, we helped help with building a path that around this church in the area that people could then like walk. There was a senior center nearby. I can't remember the first time of the Immanuel in 2016 in New Orleans what our service project was. I think maybe we'd made like the homeless mats out of like plastic bags. And San Antonio in 2013, I can't remember what we did in San Antonio. So, I mean, that's usually one of the things, but kind of the simple way to break it down is like one day, I don't know, they change the name every year, but one year I remember it just being called the Spectacle. So, like, that's usually why I refer to it. But in the big open area in the convention center, they have like all these different booths, like all the districts in the LCMS, the Concordias, maybe different organizations like Camp Restore, which is a camp in New Orleans. They all have these booths where they have maybe games or different things, and you can get swag. And like I always think, I joke with the families this year saying, honestly, if you didn't want to pack any shirts, you could probably get by with the free stuff you get in New Orleans at the youth gathering, but I don't want to risk it. So I'm like, you still need to, but I'm like, you can probably come away with 4 or 5 shirts and a couple different hats. Because I know like last time Concordia River Forest gave out a bucket hat, and then Concordia Seminary, St. Louis gave out trucker hats. And so you have that, plus they also have in there like basketball, volleyball, soccer. They have all these different games that kids can play. I know the first time I went, they had like American Gladiator, like the jousting things.
Wow.
So I remember doing that with one of our 8th graders at that time. And then one day they'll go to like sessions, like there's hundreds of sessions over different topics, which a lot of times I might know some of the speakers, so I could recommend to the kids like, hey, you might want to go to this person. They're really good. Like one year Sam Decker spoke, who was a basketball player in the NBA that went to Sheboygan Lutheran, went to University of Wisconsin, played for a national championship, but lost to Duke in 2015. So I recommended our kids going to see that because I'm like, here's somebody that like went through the Lutheran school system, made it to the NBA. He was a first-round draft pick. I think it was in the league for a few years. And last I knew, because I still follow him on Twitter, he's been playing in Europe. Then I know one year they had Scott Linebrick, who was a Major League Baseball pitcher. Like he pitched for the White Sox for a year or two. So he was talking about his faith, which I'm like, that's pretty cool. Yeah. They also have like different concerts sometimes during the day. Like I know one year, I think it was the first year with Immanuel, David Crowder played every day at like 4 o'clock in the one room. I know Remedy Drive has played a lot at the National Youth Gatherings. And then, and I guess that would be the 3 days in a sense, service project, the spectacle aspect, and then the sessions. And usually I just tell the kids, go to like 3 or 4 sessions in that time span. You don't have to go to every single like time there is one, because you do need to take a break or grab food. And then usually the day with like the mission project would be like, okay, when we get back, shower, cleaned up, we'll go do the spectacle stuff. Or if you want to go to a session, then each night they have mass worship for like 20,000 people.
Wow.
So this will be worship, as far as I know, in the Superdome, which is where the New Orleans Saints play.
Wow.
So that's a pretty cool worship experience when you worship with that many people. Mm-hmm. And then they have like Mass Event Plus where maybe like they have a bigger name Christian musician play a concert like they've had for King and Country, Toby Mac. And so they kind of have different things like that. So great week. Do a little sightseeing while we're there because it doesn't start till 7 o'clock on the 18th or 19th, I mean. So we get on the 18th and then the rest of the 18th and then most of the day on the 19th. We can have some free time, but I know the 18th I want to go and finish up our registration and get the bags because in the past they give everybody a backpack, which is cool seeing a mound of 20,000 plus backpacks. This year they're giving out clear bags because it fits for the NFL policies for bags in stadiums.
Huh. What does it roughly, cost to send a kid to the NYG? I know you've been doing some fundraising through the Easter breakfast and everything.
I would say this year about $1,500.
Okay.
And we try to like limit where it's mostly fundraised and where it's very little out of parents' pockets.
Right.
But that $1,500 covers the $450 or $425 was for registration, the hotel, the flights. I think our flights were just under $400 to Houston. Food, like, because we try to set aside like X amount of money per day per kids for food.
Right.
So that, and then I think that's really about it. Maybe because our transportation, like we got a shuttle from the airport to the hotel. So yeah, I think those are kind of the big things. And maybe we've also tried to do some sightseeing, but I mean, with New Orleans, there's a lot, in a sense, free stuff you can do for sightseeing, like going around the French Quarter. Yeah. I know I want to go to Cafe de Monde for beignets, but that's cash only, so got to make sure the kids have cash for that one. So yeah, so that will be an awesome time. Looking forward to that, being in the lovely, humid weather of New Orleans
in mid-July.
Yes, for a few days. So yeah, that's kind of some of the things we got coming up this summer, and of course we'll wrap up, and I'm not sure if we have the exact date figured out, but the Blessings Backpack and Barbecue. Oh, our calendar says August 17th will be the Blessings Backpack and Barbecue.
Yeah, because I think school starts on the 18th this year, right? Probably.
19th.
Oh, 19th.
So that Tuesday. So that will be great. So yeah, and I guess you wanted to do a little bit of trivia.
Yeah, well, I had some trivia questions pulled up here because last time we did trivia and
Thanksgiving.
It's kind of fun, yeah, our Thanksgiving trivia. So I asked you a few of these questions before, so I'm going to try and find some
different questions.
Yeah, a good variety.
Is it just general, or is it the Star Wars ones you're looking at?
This is just random trivia questions, courtesy of BuzzFeed.
Okay.
Okay, so how many keys does a piano have?
64?
No, higher. I'll give you another guess.
128.
Lower than that. The correct answer is 88.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, I did not know that one.
Okay. What arboreal marsupial is known for sleeping the vast majority of the day?
Is that a koala?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, I do know something.
Okay, ready? List the continents from largest to smallest.
Is Antarctica the largest?
Actually, no.
Asia?
Asia, yes.
Then Antarctica?
No, Antarctica is pretty far down the list.
Really?
I wouldn't have guessed that, actually.
Yeah, I probably don't know them in the size of the largest to the smallest. I'll just be honest.
All right, well, the second is Africa. Then North America. Then South America. Then Antarctica. Then Europe. And then Australia.
Okay, maybe I'm just getting that confused because isn't Antarctica the largest desert?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Antarctica is the largest desert because a desert is just something where there's no...
Yeah, I guess I never thought of Antarctica as a desert.
Yes. Yes, the Antarctic Polar Desert is the largest... So that's maybe where I was getting that was the largest, but it's just the largest desert is Antarctica.
Yeah, I would have thought it was bigger, but I don't know. Okay, what's the largest country in the world?
Country. I don't know. Like, I feel like United States is pretty big for a country.
I would have thought, well, I think China must be the second one, but the largest country is Russia.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
Let's see. Okay, who was the first person to walk on the moon? Can't get this one wrong.
Oh, it's not Neil Armstrong.
You know it is Neil Armstrong.
I thought there was somebody else that walked before him.
According to BuzzFeed, it is Neil Armstrong.
Because I was thinking Buzz Aldrin, but they were on the same shuttle up there, right? Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong.
Yes. My sister would be mad at me. She loves all the space stuff. There was Buzz Aldrin, and then there was some other guy.
I don't know the
I
other
don't
guy.
know who it is. Okay. Here's a Disney question. What kinds of fish are Marlin and Dory from Finding Nemo?
Marlin is a clownfish,
Yep.
and Dory is a blue tang.
Yes, that's correct.
And I probably just know that because my brother has both of those in his saltwater fish tank.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Pretty sure he has a blue tang. I know he has had clownfish.
All right, what are the two outermost colors on the upper and lower ends of a rainbow?
Is it red? And
Yes.
blue?
No.
Violet?
Yes, violet.
Okay, Roy G. Biv. That's what I was trying to think of.
All right, this is an easy question. Who is Luke Skywalker's father? We should probably put a spoiler alert.
Anakin Skywalker.
Well, yes.
Darth,
it says
also
Darth Vader.
known as Darth Vader.
If that was a spoiler for anybody, I mean, come on. That's like
So we'll
Star
do
Wars
2 more questions.
All right. I have to pick some good ones.
Yeah, I don't think it's a spoiler for the Star Wars one, seeing how that movie's over 40 years old now.
Is it really? I guess it is. I just watched it for the first time this
Because
past summer.
A New Hope came out in 1977,
Wow.
and 1980 for Empire Strikes Back, so that would be 45 years ago.
Wow, that's crazy.
And then Return of the Jedi, I believe, was 1983.
Huh.
So,
I'm
Yeah.
more of a sequel person.
yeah, I don't know if you want people to know that you think the
Yeah,
sequels
I
are
know.
better. Well, technically prequels. Or are you saying the sequels with Rey?
The sequels with Rey.
Okay, yeah, I don't think people are gonna like that answer.
Yeah. Okay. How many toes do cats have on their back paws?
I'm just gonna go 7.
Okay, one foot.
4.
7 toes?
I was just trying to think of a rant, like,
The answer is 4. I thought, wait, 7. Are you talking about 2 feet? So one of us is 3, one of us 4?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking about the even number. I just was thinking it was probably more than what I thought it would be.
That would be a lot of toes. All right, I'm going to find one more. This one's actually interesting. What is the singular of spaghetti? So I guess it's one spaghetti noodle is what's the name for that?
I have no clue.
Answer is spaghetto.
Spaghetto.
I've never heard of that.
I've
But
never.
like, why would you talk about spaghetti in a singular? Like, would you like a spaghetto, meaning one spaghetti noodle?
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, that was some tough trivia, some easy trivia.
You learn something new every day, I suppose.
And, we learned something. So thank you guys for listening to this, and thank you and God's blessings.
PD and P Dubs, unscripted.